Hey, what's happening, Nation? It's Joku. Welcome to the Nation's Voice. It is Friday night. You guys know what that means. This show is completely about y'all. I want to hear your opinions. I want to know what you're thinking about this team right now. But I did want to touch on the two new free agent signings that we did end up making because I honestly kind of like them, man. I'm not going to lie about it. I really think they could end up working out for us. I understand that they're both probably going to be rotational pieces, but Duke has a shot at winning a starting job. He also has a shot at being washed out completely through training camp. But that move really intrigues me. It seriously does, for the sole reason that the Minnesota Viking fans were extremely pissed that we ended up letting that kid go. And I don't know why they were so pissed, because he did start to turn it on a little bit, but he has bounced around a few teams. But that kid could end up turning a new leaf, coming onto the Raiders, and just being completely freaking awesome. So I could not wait to see what ends up happening with him. And then the other move that we ended up making was Jenkins, the big defensive tackle. That dude reminds me a hell of a lot of Jelly Bean. I know he's not going to be a starter, and I know a lot of people wanted to hang on to Billings, and he walked his ass right back to Chicago. But he could end up being a pretty big impact for us. We need defensive tackles. We need depth at that defensive tackle spot. I know we still need linebacker help. There's still a hell of a lot of holes on this team. And the biggest one that pisses me off that we have not addressed yet is the fact that our offensive line has still not been taken care of. And if you have Jimmy G as your quarterback, you cannot have him running for his life like DC was last season. That dude is one big pop away from being on our damn bench. So that's my little rant for tonight. Hit me up. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what your concerns are about it. I'm just not going to waste any time. I'm going to jump into your comments. Ardo, what's going on? Hopefully this works. Yeah, no shit. And I apologize for that. But last Friday, I don't know what the hell was going on, but at the end of the day, I figured out it was just completely my fucking fault. I ended up clicking the wrong damn button 4 times in a row. I was so pissed off by the end of that video. I ended up just deleting everything and starting from scratch. Everything seems to be going pretty damn good right now, so hopefully this shit holds up. Costas, it's good to see you, man. Dangerfield, how are you doing? To be honest, my major concern has always been linebacker and defensive tackle. We never should have let Billings walk. Costas, it's good to see you, man, and you are 100% right. I did like Billings. I really thought he was going to have a way bigger impact on this team than he actually did, but that shit did not shake out the way that we thought it was going to. And I still think Hobbs needs to go back to playing a slot DB. I completely agree with you on that, but I honestly don't think you're going to see Hobbs move back to that slot. He's going to end up staying at one of those outside corner spots. He honestly looked pretty damn good at the start of last season, then injuries just ate his ass completely up. I'm looking forward to your videos. Darthman, I really appreciate that. And we need a strong safety that can cover. Yes, we can. And I'm wondering to see if we're going to address that in the draft or not. I'm very curious to see what ends up shaking out. That safety position, Merrick's going to hold down his. But if he gets hurt, the depth behind him gets a little bit shaky. So I'd like to see us address it in the draft. Love Joku's live streams, what he used to do. Hopefully I can get back into it, man. Maxfield, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Of all the corners I had lately, make me think we aren't grabbing somebody at 7. You know what? I honestly kind of have to agree with you. And there are some damn good corners in this draft that we could end up taking at that 7 spot besides Witherspoon, even though that kid's my personal favorite. I'm just really curious, because you're right, it does open it up now to see. And a lot of people are going to be pissed, but there's a real shot that we end up going offensive line at that number 7 spot, and it's going to make some fucking people's heads explode. Arkham, it's good to see you, man. What's going on? Ardo, I love the fact that we attack the defense, but what about our linebackers? Only got Spillane, the cheap linebacker. Dude, I'm telling you, man. And I know we're not going to end up going linebacker in the first, which is going to fucking drive me insane because that's always what I want. But that linebacker room, not only is it thin as shit, the talent level on it is not that high. The Diablo has to prove he can stay healthy, but I do believe that kid is a hell of a linebacker. Spillane, he's going to be like a 50-50 chance. Oh, Chad, what's going on? What's good with you, man? James, how are you doing? It's been a minute. Yes, it really has, dude. David Long and Duke Shelley have a great upside. Move Hobbs to the slot and draft anyone high. Dude, I could see that. And honestly, when I start drawing this shit up and I start doing those little cutouts again, you'll probably end up seeing that exact thing. I just don't know what Vegas is going to do. I personally thought Hobbs played a hell of a lot better in the slot. I truly believe that. I think we should end up moving him back. I don't know if Long is going to end up being a starter on the outside because he's pretty much played that slot position his entire career as far as the NFL goes. What do you think about Mazzie Smith in the 3rd or 4th? I'd have to look into it more to be completely honest with you. What do you think of Nutay? Do you think he is good enough to be a start at guard? It's possible. It is possible. Please address the O-line, Big E. What's going on? I'm telling you, dude, our O-line, and I understand, like, they were able to open up holes for Josh Jacobs, and he ended up having, like, an incredibly crazy good season. But as far as, like, the pass protection went, it completely blew. Like, you cannot deny that. I'm back doing videos, brother. Would love to do a collab with you in the future. Arkham dude, definitely hit me up. I'm pretty sure that you follow me on Twitter, so let me know. We have so many holes where to start. There are still a ton of holes on this team. But we did free up some money. And here's the thing that pisses me off, is that we've brought on like 3 or 4 wide receivers at this point, when we could have spread that money around and just kind of worked with the base that we did have. We even brought back Keelan Cole on a contract. And I don't know what the hell that kid's doing, but he's doing something right to have stuck around this team for as long as he has. I hope we don't go offense first 5. With the moves that we've made, it's possible that you see like this entire draft, not entire draft, but a lot of these moves or draft picks being on the defensive side of the ball. Hey, Joku, everyone on other people are talking about the free agency picks up. However, I have not been impressed. Give me your real take. I know you're all back. To be honest, there's been some moves that I have liked. Like, I do like this Duke Shelley move, and I really like that Austin Hooper move. But, I mean, I made a video a couple days ago because the moves that we had made, like, between Jimmy Garoppolo and the moves that we have just started making, they were shit. Like, I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even going to try to dress them up, dude. They were like camp bodies at best that you're going to see wash out off of this team in a damn heartbeat as soon as we start cutting down that 90-man roster. But they have made some significant moves, but they have not addressed some of the major fucking holes that we have on this team, and that's one of the biggest things that's pissing me off. Do you believe Farrell Jr. and Matthew Butler? And if we don't, we seem to be screwed if we take them in the second rounds. I really like Farrell Jr., like I really do. As far as Butler goes, I really don't think he's going to end up making it through camp. I think you're going to end up seeing Farrell being one of those rotational pieces on that defensive line. I like that kid. He does have some good upside. I'm going to call our defense the circle jerk since everyone is a rotational piece. That's what I'm saying, dude. I got a lot of respect for the people out there making these videos, and they're like constantly talking about how we added more good depth and we got more depth on this team. If you don't fucking have starters, your depth doesn't mean shit. All of a sudden, your depth is your starters, and when your depth is your starters going into a season, that shit's not looking good, man. Like, not looking good at all. Dominic, man, it's good to see you. Raider Nation, how are you doing? Corner first, guard in the second, linebacker and tight end in the third. We can get our 4 starters. There's one, damn it, I forgot his name. I'll have it before the next show because I want to talk, I do like my draft show. There is a tight end in this draft who is just a fucking beast. And he's not going until like the 4th or 5th round. He can be a hidden gem. Damn, I wish I could remember his damn name. He ended up tearing up the combine, and he's freaking huge. He's like a beast. And he's, not only is he like incredibly damn big, he's one of the fastest tight ends in this damn draft, dude. It is nuts. Brood, how are you doing, man? Oh, Richard Kidd, grab B-Rag, man, Reside Rock, dude, Rock ain't coming back, I can tell you that right now. Big Al, it's good to see you. Nix, how are you doing? Happy Friday. Yes, it is. It would be cool to see you and Docs and Wasted do a collab. I can tell you right now, there is 0 chance that shit will ever happen. Who do you want as a backup QB? Do you prefer free agent specifically? I'll be honest with you, and I know a lot of people are not going to agree with this at all, but the dude has like a major chip on his shoulder, and we can get him cheap as shit. If we brought Cam Newton onto this team as a backup behind Jimmy G, I wouldn't be pissed about it. I'm not going to lie to you at all. Glad to have you back, dude. It's really good to be back. Need defensive tackle help? Yes, we do. And maybe that could be where we end up going at that number 7 spot, but that number 7 pick's going to be big. If we trade that back, I'm honestly going to be kind of pissed. Salute, brother. Glad I caught you live. Bottoms up, smoke if you got them. Tails, man, it's good to see you. We should sign Miles Jack. We'll see, dude. Darnell Washington or Zach Kuntz? I'll take Kuntz in that all damn day. Yes, dude. I believe it is Kuntz, the tight end. It is. That kid could end up being a freak, man. And I know, like, he moved up a little bit, but I still do not see him going, like, before the 4th round. So if we could lock him in the 4th, I will take Kuntz in a fucking heartbeat. That kid is a freak of nature. Keelan Cole scored high on his pass blocking. That may be why. That is very true. And if you can end up being in that pass block and helping out, amen, brother. Finally, some common sense. I appreciate it. Yeah, the 6'8", and dude, the kid is hella fast, dude. He's like 6'8", like 285, and just like a fucking freak when it comes to running. I like Shelley. I think he may be a starter, but we can't have a cornerback. Oh, but can't say he's a cornerback one right now? No, there is no chance in hell that you can come out and say that that kid is a cornerback one right now. There is zero chance of that. Darnell Washington? No, that's not him. So, Gonzalez or Witherspoon at 7, trading back would be great. But these kids are locked, solid cornerbacks, yes. And then who's the other? Poyer Jr., I think. Like, that kid's a damn good cornerback, too. And he honestly probably fits our scheme the best. So, I don't know. But Witherspoon is just a freak to me. Psycho Jack, I appreciate it, man, but you don't have to do that. I promise you don't. I really kind of hope him trade back if Carter doesn't fall to us. It's possible. I don't know. I don't want to see us trade back unless we can trade back and get like a first and a second in this exact draft. Because if we end up trading back and we get screwed on it, then we're going to miss out on a possible stud at number 7. But honestly, if you think about it, dude, we end up fucking up every single draft that we've had over like the past 20 years. Name me like 1 or 2 people that are on this team that we've drafted in the past 5 years. It's fucking crazy, dude. If you take out last year, I mean, of course, but it's nuts. Hendon Hooker at 7. Dude, Hooker's going to be there in the second round. I guarantee that shit. If Carter falls, we better take him. It's a risk, but he's the best player in the draft, and his position is one of our biggest needs. I'm not arguing with you, dude. I'm not arguing with you at all. If that kid ends up dropping to 7 and we do not pick his ass up, that would be a huge fucking mistake. Because he's one of the best players in this draft as far as any of the positions are concerned. But, I mean, he does. He has a big-ass question mark floating over his head, so there's a chance that he does end up slipping, but he might end up slipping further than that, so I don't know, dude. Arlen, man, it's good to see you. What's good, SJ? Good to catch another live show. Shout out to from Samoa. Oh, man, dude. Shout out to you. I appreciate you coming in and checking out the show, man. So, I don't know, dude. Let me ask you this right now. If we went into the league or if we started the season tomorrow with the team that we have right now, our defense, if you look at it, would still honestly be pretty fucking shitty. Which sucks to say, but it is. I mean, you have to be real about it. We still have gaping fucking holes. Between our defensive line or defensive tackles and just that linebacker room, you're not going to get the pressure, and you're going to watch our secondary get eaten to shit every single game. Which, I mean, they're going to double team Max. Dude, so you'd be fucked right there. And then if you look at the offensive side of the ball, if you do not address that offensive line, Jimmy G's not going to have time to get the damn ball out to anybody. It's going to be a real shit show. We need to fill a few more of these big-ass holes before we can be really considering ourselves in good shape. No on Carter. John, man, I don't know. He is like, we need him to fill a huge-ass hole that we have on this team. If we trade back and get picks next year, they are tanking for a cute. I'll give you that, because there's been some questionable moves so far through this offseason. But I think these guys understand that if they end up having like another incredibly shit season, there's going to be a hell of a lot of pressure on Davis to get rid of fucking both of them. And to be honest, I think he would pull the trigger and end up bringing in somebody else. The second round pick is as important as the first round. If Drew Sanders or Osiris, dude, I do like him, are there, we better take one of them. Yes, Ardo, I completely agree. What's your expectations for Illuminor? I honestly expect Illuminor to be our starting right tackle. He ended up starting to look pretty damn good at the end of last season. He was still coming up, like still trying to learn everything. He's honestly looking pretty damn good. I think he could take that right tackle spot, and I wouldn't be incredibly pissed about it just from what I did see from like the final 3 to 4 weeks of last season. But we still need a right guard, because if he has to help at all at that right guard position, he's going to fucking have his lunch ate every single day. Carter or Clancy for me, or Cansey for me at 7. Give you that. Kobe Turner, linebacker Dorian Williams. I do like him. Clark, I'm a little questionable on, man. 10 wins this year. Oh, John. I don't know if we're going to hit that 10-win mark. We have to see what ends up shaking out. Like I said, dude, things are a little bit shaky right now. Our current defense would be the 30th. If we hit out our mostly defensive-heavy draft, it could be near the top 15. Dude, I'm not even... My dreams of having, like, a fucking defense that's above the top 20 gets a little bit worse every single season. My wish list is to trade back and have Oh, 2 number 1s next year to address our quarterback. I don't know, dude. Let me ask you guys, like, all bullshit aside, because everybody keeps saying that Jimmy G is going to be our bridge quarterback. If Jimmy G ends up coming out and taking this team to the playoffs, that bridge magically fucking disappears, and that kid's going to end up being our QB for like the next 5 to 6 years. If he ends up shit in the bed, which I don't think he's going to do, I really think he's going to have like a decent season. But if I'm talking like he comes out and like finally breaks that 4,000 yard mark, can keep his picks in the single digits, and ends up putting up between like 25 and 32 touchdowns this season, a lot of people are going to be talking about keeping his ass on this team. If we don't fix the O-line, Jimmy G is going to spend a lot of time on the IR. That's a true fucking fact, man. Alex, how are you doing? The O-line was good last year. Carr just held under the ball for too long. The average quarterback is 3.5 to make his decisions. With the ball, I mean, you're right about that, but there were games, dude, where you legitimately saw our offensive line get pushed back into DC before he even made his final step. So I'm not putting all that shit onto DC. I understand that Dan has his flaws, and I was pretty much done with him by the time all this shit ended up going down. I did not like the way that it happened, but our offensive line was a major part of his fucking failures last season. Our scheme seems very familiar, if not from the distance past, unfortunately. Oh, God, dude. I don't even want to say Gunther's name. God, that dude pissed me off so much on a weekly basis. Because of sad free agent signings, we are under the gun in the draft. We just didn't spread our money out the right way, in my opinion. Like, in my personal opinion. I really thought, like, you want to bring on a receiver, that's fine. You want to bring on 2, that's fine. You want to fucking keep bringing receiver after receiver, and then bringing on positional groups where we actually have, like, a legitimate starter at, but you're still signing people to go behind them. Like, you're fucking up when you're doing that, dude. It is the way that it is. I'm talking about the pass protection, not the run blocking. Yes, exactly, dude. I'm hearing Hopkins. It's almost a done deal. For Renfro in the picks, I knew I was going to end up having to talk about this shit. And I am not going to lie. You got Adams and you got D-Hop on the other side. That's some, like, straight up Madden shit right there. And honestly, the trade kind of works just because Renfro would slide right into that offense and be an immediate impact on it. Hopkins, on the other hand, I'm very curious to see what he has left in the tank. You could tell that it started to drop off a little bit last season, but that dude is still one of the best fucking receivers in the NFL. I would, if it happened, I would be happy as shit. I would be a little bit pissed that we lost Renfro, but if you lose Renfro and a couple picks, like, and not our first, I'd be pissed if we did that. But if we ended up going like a third and a fourth and Renfro and bringing D-Hop onto this team, no one could be pissed about that. Dodgers everything, dude, man. Please, I really appreciate it, but you do not have to do that shit. Oh, Dirty Low, what's happening, man? I will tell you, your Raider Nation challenge, like the first 2 minutes of that video, I was fucking rolling on the floor. That shit cracked me up, man. I really did. O-line late in the draft, or Jimmy G's holding clipboard by week 7. He'll be holding that damn clipboard by week 3. We need to address that shit. Please, Raider Nation, be patient, and I ask you knowing how it is to be a fan. Dude, Russell, what's going on? I've been a fan of this team since I was a little ass kid, and I've seen the best and I've seen the worst, and I will tell you right now, my patience is fucking running out. Like, it is seriously running out. Our PFF ratings rank to 10 for the O-line. Jimmy G was in the Niners over. I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. That Niners offensive line, it wasn't so much their offensive line, it was the scheme that was a run-heavy team. It was pretty much hand the ball off, and then Jimmy G would pass when he had to, and if they turned the ball over, it didn't matter, because the best fucking defense was going to come onto the field and get that ball right back for you. It's going to be an uphill battle for Jimmy G. We should sign, Poon Ford, Clowney, and Miles Jack. Fuck Clowney, man. I'm sorry, Dominic. I do not like him at all. Great to see your show. It's working this week? Yes, dude. Man, that was such a pain in the ass, and it was my own damn fault. I know you're going live in a little bit, but I'm only going to be out here for a little bit, but I'll be checking that out for sure. We should re-sign Ngakwe. You know what? With a new defensive coordinator, I could honestly see that possibly happening. I don't think we're going to end up having the money for that, to be honest. We have a burner casual. We should sign Miles Jack. Man, a lot of you dudes are really high on Miles Jack. Hello, what's up? Bro, we should have gone after Lamar Jackson. I've talked about Lamar Jackson. I would not have been pissed about that at all. And I really think Lamar Jackson in the silver and black would have been really damn impressive, especially with the weapons that we had on the team when we could have brought him on. We still would have lost Waller. And all that shit coming out about Waller, about him not wanting to do his rehab and just taking time off and just disappearing. Like, that's the kind of shit that comes out after somebody leaves the team, that keep in the locker room. That really pissed me off to know that he was not fucking giving it his all. And so I don't know if that's something that's just kind of released by the Raiders, like, hey, don't be so pissed, everybody's so negative about this, or if that shit is like 100% true. Because if it is, that's some bullshit. We are still paying Corey Littleton. I know. And honestly, I still like Corey Littleton. His ass just did not work out for us at all. That kid... Oh, fuck. I had him so hyped up, man, and we paid him so much fucking money. And then he refused to hit a single damn person. Angry. Lifelong Raiders, I have no idea what we are doing at the moment. It's a struggle, dude. But I'm telling you, a lot of it because we were in so much cap hell that now we're kind of having to bite the bullet. But there's some fucking big assholes that if we don't address, it's going to be another long ass season. And if you see McDaniels and Ziegler end up sticking around, they're going to have one more shot at it. I promise you, because they're going to have a shit ton of money going into the season after this one. And if they could end up making some big differences with that, then you'll end up seeing them stick for a minute. Lamar would have been awesome. He would have, dude. I fucking love Lamar Jackson. I'm not going to lie to you. And the shit, we had a chance to draft him. Everybody had a chance to draft him. They all fucking passed on him. Well, we could have had him. Could have had him for a long damn time. That's why I'm so pissed at this coaching staff. Random question. Why the fuck is Brandon Bolden still on this team? Because he's cheap and we don't have a lot of money. And we need people to have our camp challenges and camp battles to see what's going on. Have a great night. Oh, Dirty, have a good night, man. Thank you for coming out, dude. I really do appreciate it. I kind of feel like Walker is more worried about his hit podcast than being on the field. Seems to be more of a trend happening in the NFL right now on all teams, not just ours. We need linebackers so bad. In my personal opinion, that linebacker room is hands down the biggest need that we have. Why did we sign Brandon Parker? I don't know. I really thought Brandon Parker's ass was going to be gone, but maybe they saw something in him. We've all watched him since he has been on this team, and I defended his ass so many times. I can't even do it anymore. I don't care if you're going to be jumping from both sides anymore. Like, Brandon, you had one game where you stepped up and played like one hell of a game, and I came out and I was like talking a bunch of shit. And I was like, Brandon Parker finally came around. He finally turned the corner, and then the next week you fucking got tore up, dude. It was a joke. It was like a true joke. The O-line isn't bad in my opinion. We have 4 returning starters. We just need 1 new guard. It's going to depend a hell of a lot on Luminor. Like, that's going to be a big part. And then whoever we get to fill that guard spot. And that's where the Raiders should have dropped a decent chunk of their money. Is to solidify this offensive line right off the bat. You got a new quarterback. You still have one of the best running backs in football. You still have Adams on the outside. You bring in your extra pieces to surround everybody. And you give him a little extra time in an established running game. But, dude, I'm telling you, if that offensive line comes out and just shits the bed, it's going to be a long, long-ass season. TM, what's good, man? Any good quarterbacks going to be a free agent next year? I don't know. I really have to dig into it more. I'm not going to sit here and just throw out some names when I really don't know. Brandon Parker is just a swing tackle. He is, dude. I actually like the Oster Hoop inside. Dude, I fucking love Hoop coming out of this team. I am not even going to lie to you guys. I really think that if we end up getting the right pieces to put around these guys, like, Say Hopkins came onto this team, and you had Hopkins on one side, Adams on the other. Hoop would end up having a season like probably one of the best tight ends in the NFL type seasons, because nobody would be able to cover him because he would be singled up every damn time because you would have to apply so much pressure on the outside. This only happens to the Raiders. Day late and dollar short on everything we do. Gorb, man, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming out, and you are 100% right. I say no on Allen Hopkins trade. The bust out. No team can cover the Raiders. Renfro, Waller, they're gone, dude. I mean, you're talking Waller's gone. Renfro's ass, I'm so curious to see, because a lot of people have been asking about Renfro, not just Arizona. If you see where they were being ranked at the tight end last year, a total washout, yes. But you know what? That dude should have played at Mayer High School. I don't know. Glad to see you back. Dragon, it's good to be back, man. It really is. Running back, linebacker, inside, outside line, safety are low value positions. That safety position in today's NFL is not a low value position, in my opinion, dude, like at all. Does McDoofus have what it takes to make it to the playoffs and keep his job? That is all going to be dependent upon if Jimmy G can take his offensive system and make it not look like a complete pile of shit, because that is all that it has looked like since the day he has stepped into this. Al Davis at his worst is better than Mark Davis at his best. Al Davis in his last few years, God rest his soul, was getting a little bit shaky, but I still agree with your comment. We need 2 rotational pieces on the O-line. We do, and I mean, that is, but Brandon Parker fills that spot for you. That is why he's back on this team. Love your channel. Priest, thanks for coming out, Jess. Thank you. What do? They send him to De La Salle. It's a good sign, but we should have never been there. I'll give you that. The O-line will be 10 times better with the quarterback that can make a decision and with the ball quicker. We'll see, because I will tell you right now, if you don't even have time to take your steps back to where you can plant your back foot and then take a look around to make your very first read before you have a black jersey that's hitting you in the face, I don't care if you're the best quarterback in the league. That shit's not going to work. The key change in the Raiders' offense, Walker is unreliable. Mayers and Hooper are. Yes, they are. And I'm really hoping Jacoby could end up making a pretty big-ass difference on this team, which is another reason, because we brought in Dorsett too. We still have Renfro. That's why I really think the D-Hop thing is more of a fucking pipe dream than anything else. But I just hope I'm wrong. Draft value-wise, Raiders all day, baby. With the new tight ends we signed, it looks like we're going to be more in more heavy sets. I mean, you bring on O.J. Howard, then you're definitely looking at more heavy sets, because I'm not counting on that dude to be any kind of pass catcher for us at all. He is damn good in the run block and the pass block, but I do not see that dude breaking out and having some kind of crazy yardage season. What about Sims, red zone threat, hybrid tight end, camp body? Yeah, I really do believe he is a camp body. We have 12 draft picks. We aren't going to draft 12 players. I'll give you that. And that's where you could see it end up starting to shuffle around a little bit and then really starting to trade some of these picks, because we have a lot of late round picks. And there's a lot of teams that don't have those late round picks because they end up trading them away. So if you can stack a couple of those late round picks and move yourself up into the 4th or 5th round, I think that's a very, very real possibility. We better do good things this season, because I feel like we're going to have another losing season. Don't mean to be a downer, just being realistic. Jeffrey, dude, it is what it is, man. I'm not going to get all pissed at you, but you're right. But you have to stay pretty optimistic through the offseason. And I know you got to trust the process, and the process does look pretty fucking shitty right now. You can't really argue with that. But maybe you get these guys together, they start gelling as a team. Graham gets the pieces that he needs for this defense to actually work, which I've said that about every defensive coordinator we've had over the past few years, and it seems like it never fucking happens. But these dudes better get their job done. I think McD is good if we show progress, is more wins than in 2022. I think you're probably right about that. Glad to see this live again. Flinko, man, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming out. Jesse, how are you doing? If the O-line can't hold up for 2.5 seconds, then the offense is done. It is. That's a fact. It's a fact for any team in the NFL. Carr did not know how to step up in the pocket when he was being pressured. John, I'm not going to argue with that at all, because that was one of his major weaknesses, was being able to extend plays, being able to hop up in. He was pretty good at stepping up into the pocket. I will give him that. But it was when he had to go outside and end up having to make plays happen. If it wasn't a designed bootleg, he was going to end up fucking it up somehow, and we saw it. We all saw it. I was hoping Munford would step up. Oh, man, I was too, Brute. I really was. I had high hopes for that kid. I'm in the late. What do the Raiders address with the first pick? At this point, now that we have signed these corners, I really think it might end up being defensive tackle. We go Nate back. Nate back sub with Diablo. Jermaine, I like that. I just want to see Diablo stay healthy. I want to see him back on the field. I want to see what that kid really brings. You think they'll trade up? No, that I do. I think not with that first pick, at all. I do not think that's going to happen. Not at this point. I really think they're going to give Jimmy G a legitimate shot to win this starting job. They do have to bring somebody back onto this team as far as a backup for him, because Chase, if Jimmy G goes down and then Chase ends up being our number 2, you're going to fucking see us shit the bed completely. Our linebackers don't excite me. We need a beast of linebacker in this draft. Yes, Rich, I completely agree. Our linebacker room right now, especially that middle linebacker spot, is questionable at best. Mumford can't be that great. You brought back Parker and Illuminor. That's it. That speaks volumes right there. Joe Kuhn, because I'm glad. Oh, Carlos, man, what's up? It's good to see you, dude. Making me nervous. Writing Jimmy G at the helm. It is a little nerve-wracking, dude, but it's a hell of a lot better than Stidham. Like, a hell of a lot better than Stidham. They are getting their guys. No excuses anymore. Raider Nation pitchforks and torches are coming out if they don't see any improvement. I'm talking like drastic improvement. No more bullshit, dude. Like, it is time for these guys to come out and step the fuck up. They have to do it, because you're right. They've had a full draft now, and now they're going to have another draft. They've had a full offseason. They're getting another full offseason. They've made moves. They have taken this team. They have broken it down. They have picked it apart, and now they are putting this shit back together with their people. You either nail this shit this season, or it's going to be a long fucking road ahead of us. Oh, Anthony, what's good, dude? It's good to have you out. Jumped out a little bit. You think Carter drops to the 7th spot? Carlos, we were talking about that earlier. There's a shot, and if he does, I think the Raiders should take him. A Raven hater, Raiders life since 1982. I love your channel, it's the best. Oh, they'll shot only one team. NGZ, how are you doing, man? Thank you for coming out. I really appreciate the words, man. Can't stand our regime, but let's give them the Raiders. Oh, but let's give them time. Raiders fans since 67. They have made their bed. Let's see what they do with it. Either way, I mean, that's it, dude. We just have to wait and see, because honestly, at the end of the day, there's not shit that me or you or anybody else can do about it. We just have to watch and see if it ends up working out. I'm sick of fucking waiting, man. Do we trade back at 7 to get Kent's in the middle of the 1st with extra picks? I want the best fucking player on the board at number 7. Like, no excuses. You have the 7th pick. It's because you sucked last season. Bring the best fucking player that you can onto this team who is there at number 7. Anthony, it's been a long-ass time, Anthony. Jimmy needs a great backup. Bryce Young will fall to the 3rd. Oh, will Bryce Young fall to the 3rd? No, I don't think he will. I honestly don't. He's going 1 or 2. Let's see. I like middle linebacker Jack Campbell out of Iowa. My brother loves that dude. He sent me like 4 different articles about him, and he's the one that I would like to see the Raiders take, in my personal opinion. Until we have an elite superstar quarterback, this will be... man, I don't know. I really think that you can still win in this league without like a truly elite star quarterback, as long as you have some... 1, a good-ass defense, and 2, some playmakers to where if he can just get the ball in their hands, then they can end up making the play. And then if they can't, you have a defense that can actually fucking stop a team. That would be a huge difference for us. What do you think of Faison? Man, dude, I gave him a lot of shit last season, but he ended up playing some pretty good games last season. And he was coming into it, and he was still learning the system, and blah, 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 the same bullshit you say about everybody. He had a decent amount of upside. I don't want to see him be a starting cornerback for us, but I do not mind him being on this roster. I hope we see more Zeus this year. Yeah, so do I. I really do. I really think they should have used him more last season. I know they brought back Abdullah. I'm really hoping that Zeus is able to jump Abdullah and kind of take that number 2 back spot. But I still think you're going to end up seeing Abdullah being the 3rd down. McDaniel should be able to catch up the 4th round QB. So let Graham pick the groceries early. I'm not arguing with you, dude. I would completely hand this draft over for the first 3 rounds right to Graham. Be like, you do what you have to do. What did I miss? Tyson, the whole damn thing. Everything. Any good linebackers on the 2nd round? Yes, there are. But nobody that's going to come in and be like, that's our starter right there, 100% guaranteed. But there's always a few hidden gems in these drafts. Best player at number 7. We need a home run at that pick. That's what I'm saying, Kanor. We need to hit a fucking home run. The best player. I don't care what position he is. I want the best possible player to be on this team with that number 7 pick. But the problem is the organization has no consequences for losing. Oh, well, it's just another season, and no accountability. It all fucking goes back to that, dude, and you're 100% right. If we could get Buckner for the third, and draft Carter or Cansey for our D-line, would be legit. Thoughts, Joku? All right, Terry. It's possible. I got some other names I'd rather put out there. What do you think of the Duke signing? I really like the Duke signing. It intrigues me, and I said it at the start of this video, because Minnesota Viking fans were legitimately pissed off that they ended up letting that kid go in free agency. I don't know if he's going to win a starting job, but I do like him being on this team. Yeah, we need to see what Kuntz, Farrell, and Butler can do this year. They have to get some playing time at least. Farrell will. Kuntz, I really like Kuntz, but he reminds me so much of Klee and I talk Klee up so much just to see his ass get washed off of this team. Kuntz needs to step up and have a big-ass season if he wants to continue to be a Raider. An elite defense prospect will fall to number 7. Ziegler needs to capitalize on that, like McKenzie did with the Khalil Mack in 2014. Arkham, 110%. Are you scared of drafting Jalen Carter or have no worries that he's going to get in trouble? Oh, I have zero fear as far as Jalen Carter goes. I think that kid could sign on to a team, gets drafted high, and gets his payday. I think that kid will end up straightening up incredibly quick and end up being a huge impact for whatever team takes him. Why did KC have to get Andy Reid? Why? He's a brilliant football mind, man. I'm not even going to talk shit about him. The dude's been through hell and can still pull out games out of his ass. How about we shut up the idiots about the Renfro trade? Why trade him a week after his contract becomes guaranteed? I mean, Big E, a lot of that, you can hide that money if you do end up trading him. But I don't think the Raiders have the money to bring Hopkins onto this team, and I don't think they want to give up the value to bring him onto this team. We got Carter, he's 6, but he sounds like a Raiders pick. He very much does. He really does. D-line and more D-line. Yeah, D-line and linebackers, dude. I think we could make it through. That safety position kind of scares the shit out of me, besides Merrick, but I think you could make it through if you had the right linebackers. If you had, like, true fast coverage linebackers. Linebacker sweet spot is 4th or 5th round, unless you can nail, like, right out the top, dude. Get one of the best. You watch so many of these linebackers come out onto these teams in their first year and make a huge immediate impact for the defense that they're playing for, and we never do that shit, dude, and we need one so damn bad. Did you hear about DeAndre? Yeah, dude. Anthony, I talked about it earlier. Carter has laziness, and if he joins the Raiders, the perfect team for the bus, no accountability in the organization, just trade or cut him. I would be legitimately fucking furious if we ended up bringing him onto this team, and he was one of those players that just fucking lazy through and then just kind of shit the bed throughout games. That would piss me off, but I really think that kid has learned his lesson. First 4 picks, honestly, should be going towards our front 7, period. Yeah, I'll give you that. His head will be, good luck, just saying. That's all I'm saying, dude. What do you think about, Jake Hagener for QB? I think he'd be a good draft pick. I think you would have better options, to be honest with you. I don't want to see us taking it. You're talking about getting into another situation like Gabbers at that point. Hell yeah, brother. What do you think about the D-line and quarterback at the 7th round pick? Right now I'm saying it's going to go more towards the D-line. If we trade down, it's possible. The draft is solid at our positions of need, at least. Yes, it is. So we should be able. I like seeing rookies come in and make an impact and being able to start on a team. And it's very, very few and far behind that you get 1 or 2 rookies that can come in and do that. Much less bringing 5 or 6. At that point, you're talking a fucking miracle, dude. Renfro for Hopkins would be a great trade. It would be, dude. On Madden, I've done that on Madden. Salute Nation. Mr. Squeaky Chair. Yeah, the old squeaky chair's still there, man. It is what it is. But that's how you know I'm really getting excited, because that shit starts squeaking and I'm about to call somebody out. Kansas City punked our... God, dude, I don't even want to fucking talk about that. The ring around the rosy shit, that pissed off people around the NFL, besides just Raider fans. That pissed off other teams in the league. And then to watch their fucking asses go on and end up... we need to get some serious revenge on them. Did you see Hardman has left KC? I did see that, but I don't think that's going to end up coming our way. I agree with you. D-Hop is unrealistic. Wide receiver is a luxury. Yes. What are your thoughts on Nate Hobbs? He's going back inside to the slot, or is he staying outside? I believe he needs to be go back to the Anthony dude. Me and Costas were talking about this earlier. I really think that his ass belongs at that slot spot, but I don't think you're going to end up seeing it. I really think you're going to continue to see him play on the outside, just because that's why we brought Long onto this team, was to fill that slot spot so we could keep him outside. Unless by some chance they're going to move Long to the outside and then move Hobbs back in, but I'd be scared as shit at that point, because I don't think Long could end up holding that spot down. I'll take a badass any day over, draft pick over a free agent. Yes, I will agree with you on that. But there's sometimes where a free agent, and you have to be able to pay him, which is something we can't do, but you can bring a solid-ass free agent onto your team and have him be an immediate starter. Anybody you draft is going to have a question mark over their head to see if they can actually make an impact in the league. How many rookies have you seen come into this league and wash out within the first 2 to 3 years just because they don't have what it takes to take that next step? There's still a tremendous gap between college football and NFL football, and there is no denying that. Some of these dudes can do it, some of these dudes can't, and the dudes that can't are nothing but a fucking waste of money and a waste of time. If we can get Hendon Hooker, we need to do it. His name sounds like a Raider. He's going to be there at the top of that second round. I'm very curious to see if the Raiders take him. I know a lot of people get pissed off about it, like his age, and he's already so old. A lot of these quarterbacks end up playing into their mid-30s. So even if you bring him onto this team and he's going to turn 26, you could possibly get another 8 to 9 years out of him easily. So I really like Hooker, I do. I would like to see him come out in that second round, but if we took him any earlier than that, I'd be legitimately pissed off. Dodgers, dude, stop. Damn, please don't. I think I have Stockholm Syndrome. I love the Raiders, and I always will defend them, no matter what, or no matter how much they hurt me. We're all in that same boat with you, dude, because we've all had our fucking hearts broke countless times. If the Raiders don't draft at least 6 or 7 early defensive players right off the bat, we're getting done for the next 50 years. Might as well back up the organization and call it quits. I don't know if I can go that far, but you sure as shit better address this defense in these first 3 rounds. Like, you have to. And even taking Hooker in the second, if he's still there at that spot, I really think you could trade back at that point and then still get Hooker somewhere in the middle of that second round. There's legitimately a shot that his ass continues to drop all the way to the third. KC will stay legit contenders if Andy Reid and Mahomes are around. That is 100% a fact, as much as it fucking makes me puke to say. I hear Hooker is moving way up the draft boards. It's very possible. Late first? No. I know what you're saying, because I have seen that same thing. But a lot of these quarterbacks start to move up late in these, or as you get closer and closer to the draft. But then once the draft starts to happen, you see everybody slowly start to slide back to where they belong. Stetson Bennett, your thoughts? That's the Georgia boy, isn't it? No, he can go. I've seen him. I've watched him play every Saturday this season, and I don't like it. We need a player to scapegoat for the next 3 seasons, or for the 3 Stooges of that dude. Oh God, 911. What's happening, dude? Are you confident in the O-line moving forward? No, I'm not at all. At all. I'm completely not confident in our offensive line moving forward. That right guard is a huge damn question mark. A huge question mark. And then the whole right side of that offensive line still scares the shit out of me. We can't draft a linebacker in the second because we need to. There are no great linebackers in this draft, but there are many good ones. There's one great one, and you'd have to take him in the first. And I don't know if he's worth the 7th. If we can get a starter in the O-line and the defensive line, one of the linebackers and one secondary in this draft, that would be a huge win and a reset. Dude, that would be massive, JC. But you're talking right there about drafting 4 rookies, having them start on your team immediately. That's hitting that is nailing a fucking draft class. That happens for very few teams ever. And that even less for us. Yo, bro, you're talking sense, and talking pissed off. I've been pissed off for 22 years. J-Ray, man, I've been pissed off right with you. But if you've seen the raw reactions, you know how disgruntled I get about this team. I think Hooker is more of a Geno Smith, maybe a little bit better. But he wouldn't be able to beat Mahomes, Allen, Burrows. Dude, that's what I'm saying, dude. Some of these fucking superstar quarterbacks that are in the league right now are literally carrying their teams on their back. There is no Devin White or Roquan in this draft. You're right. I will give you that, Brute. I don't see anyone taking Hooker early with all these defensive players or fully. No, and that's what I'm saying. I really think that dude's going to end up slipping. Raiders always undervalued that position. Yes, they have. Like their entire fucking time in existence. When I was a little kid, I wore a Kenny Stabler jersey. I'm a Raider fan for life. I could never leave them. Nope, none of us can. That's why we're all sitting here right now talking about what the hell these dudes might be up to. We can get linebackers in the undrafted free agent. That's some shit. Like, that is why we've been in linebacker hell. That's why Spillane is on this fucking team right now. I heard the Raiders are still paying Littleton. That is still a fact. For one more season. We're still paying quite a few dudes that are not on this current roster. And that shit will change at the end of this season. That is why you're seeing all these one-year deals and shit popping up right now. And it kills us, dude. And that goes back to our previous GMs, and one that shouldn't have been a fucking GM, but for some reason he was Gruden's buddy, so let's bring him on and have him fuck up our cap for the next 5 years. I like Hooker's TDs and the interception ratios. The kid's got a good damn arm, dude. Oh, Raiders, what's happening? Probably after this season, we'll see, dude. I really want to see what he could do. McKenzie did it with Mack, Carr, and Jackson. It's not impossible. No, it is not impossible. That's what I'm saying. But that's still 3. I mean, you're betting on a four-man parlay. That shit. I really hope they could do it. McKenzie was probably the best GM, in my personal opinion, that we've had on this team in a long damn time. And then what did the Raiders do? We fucked him in the end, and now he's gone. But he was a little bit shitty with his with the contracts that he did, but at the same time, he was in the same situation that all these other guys are. Your money's so fucked up when you come onto this team that you just have to do your absolute best and make do with what you got. So I'm really hoping, like, even if we fire Josh McDaniels, but we kept Ziegler just because he seems to understand what the hell he's doing as far as these contracts go, even though it's pissing a lot of people off. Like, the money's going to be there after this season, and it's going to be the first time that it's happened for us in a good damn minute. I take Hooker in the 3rd. If Hooker's there in the 3rd, you have to take him. I heard the Ravens are all over Hooker, first round lock to Baltimore. I do not buy that. I think that is just pre-draft smoke right there. Jimmy's better than Stiddy, more experienced. Jimmy is 110% more experienced and better than Stiddy. Stiddy's ass ended up going, he went to fucking Denver, didn't he? Fuck his ass, dude. Never liked him on this team at all. I think Queen is a cut candidate. Ooh, dude, Patrick Queen, I would take his ass at linebacker in a fucking heartbeat. I wanted us to draft him. I used to talk his ass up so much. Stiddy isn't going to get $22 million, and you don't know how good Stiddy is. He hasn't had much of a chance to start. Dude, I'm sorry. Like, I personally, despise Stiddy. I'm so happy that he is off this damn team. Our last good linebacker was Napoleon Harris, and we traded him for Randy Moss. Forgot. I remember that deal, but I forgot that it was Harris. He probably was one of our best recent linebackers. Not even recent at this point. That just shows you how fucking long it's been since we had a decent linebacker. Do you think this team will move up and draft a quarterback? No, I do not. Not at this point, Tyson. I really do not. Joku, what did you think about the Ramseys going for a 3rd? Would you have traded him for the... Yeah, Anthony, I would have taken that in a heartbeat. But I really think a lot of that came down to we didn't have the money for a Ramsey to bring him onto this team. But next year we will. We'll be able to sign players like that. This year we just legitimately can't, because if you bring him onto this team, you're going to have to cut so much fat off of it that just to save the money, you're fucking yourself. He chose the Broncos. He's an enemy now. You're damn straight about that. Chris, what's going on, man? Jimmy G. It's the Pine Raiders. Oh, it's got your stuff ready, Clipboard King. Dude, buddy, you got to give him a shot. At this point, he's our starting quarterback going into next season. And for as many people who called me a Carr stan, it's like now I'm a Jimmy G stan because I am going to fucking support whatever quarterback is on this team because I have no other choice but to support them 110% to see what the hell they can do. He's the only shot that we have of getting into the playoffs next season, so I got to have his back. Last linebacker we drafted with Markel Lee, yeah, he was. And another dude I really thought had so much upside. I really thought that he still does at this point. Let's trade McDummy and bring back Hugh Jackson. All right, man, I got to wrap it up. I got to coach tomorrow morning. I appreciate you guys coming out and checking this out. It was really fun to get back into doing these live streams. Hopefully I can get them scheduled more than once a week, but for right now, it'll definitely be Friday nights. Thank you very much for coming out. I appreciate it. We'll catch y'all soon.